Most people don't think of the 50mm as a landscape lens, but that's exactly why it's my secret weapon. Most people think of wide angle lenses when they hear landscape photography, 16 to 35, 24mm primes, the wider the better, right? But today, I want to make a case for a secret weapon in your landscape kit. It's not ultra wide, it's not a zoom, it's the humble 50mm. Simple, sharp, lightweight. This underrated lens is one of the best tools to help you see landscape in a new way. Sometimes simplicity tells the story best. The 50mm helps me see with more intention. Instead of chasing everything, it helps me focus on what matters. And I think life's like that too. Lately, we've been slowing down, doing less, and saying no more often, because choosing less can sometimes reveal more, both in photography and in life. So in this video, we'll talk through why the 50mm works for landscapes, what it does differently, some composition tips, and scenarios in which you might use it. And of course, we'll go through some limitations and comparisons with other focal lengths that you might be interested in. I'm Brenda, and I'm here to give you practical photography tips to help you learn, create, and elevate. Hit subscribe if you want to push your photography further, and check out our favorite gear in the description to support the channel while grabbing something great. Today, I'm going to show you why the Nifty 50 deserves a spot in your landscape kit, no matter what terrain you're exploring. First up, why the 50mm works for landscapes. When you shoot landscapes with a 50, you're doing more than just cropping in, you're focusing in. You're simplifying the chaos of nature and isolating elements with intention. You're forced to make choices. What really matters in this scene? What story am I trying to tell? And here's the kicker. That constraint breeds creativity. The 50mm offers a natural perspective without distortion. It compresses space just enough to make mountain layers or rolling hills feel rich and dimensional, more like what your eye felt than what the wide lens saw. It's also fast. Wide apertures like f1.8 or f1.4 open up low light landscape opportunities. Think about night photography, dreamy forest scenes, or shooting handheld in golden hour without cranking the ISO. When we think landscape, we think wide angle, but wide doesn't always mean better. Wide shots can include too much, distracting elements, dead space, or weak foregrounds. The simple 50mm lens can help you simplify your composition. Not to mention, if your landscape portfolio lacks focal length variety and every image starts to look the same, using a different lens can help push you out of your comfort zone to where creativity happens. Here's the thing. This lens, it's probably already in your bag. Most photographers own a 50mm, and if you don't, you can get one for less than the cost of a tripod. And since it's lightweight and low profile, you'll never talk yourself out of bringing it. Perfect for hiking, travel, or anything where weight matters. So what does the 50mm do differently? The 50mm lens forces you to isolate your subject. With a narrower field of view than a wide-angle lens, you're no longer trying to cram everything into the frame. You're asked to be more intentional. You get more compression, stronger separation, and a tighter story. That limitation becomes a strength. The 50mm makes you pause and ask, what's actually interesting here? Where is the light falling? What lines lead the eye? What can I leave out? It's a mindset shift, and it makes your landscapes stronger. Because now you're not just capturing a scene, you're composing a photograph. Which brings us to some compression tips for 50mm landscapes. Use this lens to think in frames, tight scenes, patterns, textures. Look for isolation. One tree in the fog, a hiker silhouetted on a ridge, a cabin in the landscape. Play with depth and look for layers. Use foreground elements to create a layered scene. Shoot through branches, wildflowers, rocks as natural frames. It draws the eye in. See those mountain trees, light and mist behind your subject. The 50mm compresses them beautifully. Seek compression. Those distant ridgelines, the 50mm flattens the space slightly to give them a graphic punch and make them look closer, grander, more immersive. Use light as your subject. With a tighter view, you can make a directional light a central compositional tool. Watch for sun streaks, shadows, rim light. For more on how to shoot with the 55, check out this general video, and there'll be more composition tips there. For now, let's move on to creative landscape scenarios. Here are some specific ways you can use your 50 in your outdoor work. Telephoto style landscape portraits. Subject in the scene, not just the scenery. Think lifestyle elopements, adventure sessions, adding a human element to your landscape photography in order to tell a story of a person in the environment. Check out my latest video on how to shoot portraits with the 50 and really expand what you can do with the simple, lightweight, and affordable lens. Minimalistic shots, single rock formation, one tree, one mountain peak surrounded by sky. Backcountry storytelling. I might shoot wide to show where we are and use the 50 to focus in on why we're there. The 50 is great for hybrid shooters if you're shooting both people and landscapes. Elopements, travel, lifestyle stuff, the 50 covers it all. Portrait in one direction, epic mountain in the other. Plus it's light. No need to lug around a bag of heavy zooms. So, limitations and why they're good. Sure, there are some times when the 16mm is the right choice. Vast vista, epic foregrounds, or when you need that dramatic sky. But the limitation of the 50 becomes a strength when it teaches you how to see differently. Instead of taking everything in, you focus on what's essential. And that's not just good for your photos, it's good for your soul as an artist. When I go for a hike with just the 50, I'm not constantly switching lenses or second guessing my settings. I'm looking harder, composing with more intention, and reacting to light rather than gear. And as a bonus, the 50 is one of the sharpest lenses you can get for the money. Most brands have a solid f1.8 for under $200. That makes it a perfect upgrade from a kit lens and a great option for traveling light. So in summary, no, the 50mm will not replace your ultra wide, but it will change how you see and shoot landscapes. So I hope you expand your portfolio and your idea of what a landscape photo can be. The 50mm teaches restraint in a world that constantly asks for more. It challenges me to be intentional, to frame with care, to see with clarity, and to find beauty in simplicity. Let me know if you think choosing simplicity might actually help you make room for what matters, whether that's in your photography gear or in your life. And what's one part of your life that could be even more beautiful if you focused on less? Hit that subscribe button because next week, Mark will dive into the best travel cameras for your upcoming summer adventures. This video topic was based on a question in the comments, so continue the conversation and let us know what you want to learn next. And if you're headed into your travel season, make sure you pick up our Essential Travel Photography Guide in our shop linked below. Next up, check out more videos from our How to Shoot series. I'll see you in the next one.